right, so this is the acid base lab, and I have my well plate here, and I have put in on the left side, this is the red litmus paper. And so you can see that this one stayed red, this is, well, they're pink color, but it's red. This is stayed the color, this stayed the color, this one turned blue, and this one remained, it's a little bit darker, but it's still kind of a pink color. And then on the blue litmus paper, this one is pink, pink, this one turned blue, and this one, it kind of went purple too. Okay, then the next part we're supposed to take the pH of each one of those. And so I have the pH on these papers over here. So this is for the first row, which is the HCl. And if we match it up over here, it looks like it's a 1. And then the next row, which is the acetic acid, looks to me like it's maybe a 4 or a 5. We'll call it a 5. And then the next row, which happens to be the NaOH, looks like it's about a 9. And then the last row, which is the NH3, we'll call it maybe a 7. Okay, so that's those. And then I have two tests. Oh, the next part, I have to add indicator. So down the first column, I'm going to put in phenolphthalein. And then in the next column, I'm going to put in phenol red. And then in the last one, I'm going to put in the brome cresol green. Okay, so then you can record those colors in your data table. Okay, the next part of the lab, I'm supposed to take two test tubes, and I'm going to have HCl in the first one, and then the second one I have acetic acid, and I'm supposed to put magnesium ribbon into each one of those and record my observations and also record how fast they react. Okay, so see if I can get these in here. Okay, and it looks to me like the one on the left is reacting already. So the HCl is the one on the left, and the acetic acid is the one on the right. So you should be able to record your observations on what it's doing. And then you should also be able to attest to the speed as far as which one seems to be reacting better, faster. Okay, then the last part, part 2, I have in these test tubes, I have water, and this is water and HCl, and this is water and NaOH. And I've taken the pH of each one of those. So the water by itself looks to be about a 5. So that's the water. Then the water with the HCl in it looks to be, we'll call it a 2. And then the water with the NaOH in it looks to be about a 9. Okay, and the last 3 test tubes, the test tubes that are behind it, I have the buffer, the buffer with the acid and the buffer with the base. So I've taken those pHs, and this is going to be the buffer by itself, and it looks to be, I'm going to say around 5. And then I have the buffer that I added the HCl to, and I would say it still looks to be about, maybe it's a 4 or 5, we'll say 5. And then I have the buffer that I've added the NaOH to, and I'm still going to call it, it's between a 5 and a 6. We'll say maybe 5. Okay, so that should be all the data that you need for the lab.